States of America often highlights the basic civil liberties of its citizens. This includes the right to equitable education. Societal factors have been influencing educational policy since Brown versus Board of Education, 1954. Numerous landmark government educational legislative initiatives have passed in an effort to create, maintain, and extend educational equality. Former President Johnson believed education to be an equalizer in socioeconomic inequality and implemented programs such as Head Start and Upward Bound. Currently, the United States of America has a minority population that is going to expand. By 2023, more than half of the United States youth under the age of 18 will be minorities. Immigration is consistently increasing the number of minority students being educated in U.S. public schools. According to the National Center for Statistics, approximately 50% of public school students are minorities. The educational achievement gap between minorities and their peers has emerged as one of the top educational crises of our time. As the U.S. has made progress, the fact remains that students of color, particularly males, have experiences that are different from their classroom classmates. But not just in the United States. This includes the world. Schools across America are struggling with the spiral decline of academic achievement of African American males. Occurrences of low academic achievement are prominent as early as elementary education. According to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, 10% of 8th grade African American males are proficient in reading, and 52% are graduating from high school in a 4-year period, as compared to 78% of Caucasians and non-Hispanic males. Discipline infractions for African American males are being reported at a disproportionate rate, sometimes more than 3 times their representation in the school district. 1 out of every 6 African American students have been suspended at least once, in comparison to 1 out of 20 for Caucasian students. Disadvantaged minority students in 12th grade have math aptitudes under national basic levels and are 4 years behind the national average. According to the National Center for Educational Statistics, only 11% of African American males matriculate through college. Schools across the United States are researching ways to eliminate these growing disparities. These unique factors have been considered when creating and implementing effective school experiences for African American males. Through my leadership, my interventions would include hiring and the retention of minority teachers, mentoring and multicultural teacher preparation programs, and culturally sensitive pedagogical practices. Even today, it is possible that an African American child can go through K through 12 without having an African American teacher. It is important for these students to interact with adults who look like them in an educational setting. The personal identification aids them in seeing their future possibilities. Males account for 80% of all suicides among African American adolescents. Incarceration rates are increasing. College completion rates for African American males are decreasing. Although past achievements of African Americans are prominent, African American males need to see current individuals with whom they can constantly interact and observe as successful role models. Mentoring relationships can be the most significant relationship a child develops besides their adult relationships with their parents. Mentor relationships allow the mentee to receive firsthand knowledge, support, experiences, and insights of success, thoughts of a successful adult. An effective mentor program can provide intrinsic and extrinsic examples of motivation and ensure that a student's necessary emotional, psychological, social, academic needs are being met. Mentors provide positive, reliable, consistent staples in each young man's life. With my leadership platform, I will incorporate regular, consistent professional developments that focus on cultural sensitivity, minority achievement, and culturally relevant pedagogical practices. This would include things like book studies, guest speakers, field experiences, and other district, state, and national professional developments. As decades of interventions have been introduced, educational equality still exists, or inequality still exists. We must provide ways for our educational system to evolve so that our world can continue to evolve as it is. Acknowledgement and consistent efforts will help us to achieve the educational excellence that we strive for all of our students. Thank you.